This episode of Casual Compliance is brought to you by First Strike. Hey, what's your designers? Need something to pair Death Touch with? First Strike. Who needs combat tricks when you forget that there's First Strike on the board and you swing your 6/6 into a 3/2 First Strike Death Touch? This episode's brought to you by First Strike. Hi, my name's Gramps.
My name's Chilibin.
It's Casual Compliance. This is a show where we talk about the Commander ban list and use that as a vehicle to talk about the culture of the game of Commander entirely and why a game that is a casual format has a ban list in the first place. Why does something casual need to have restriction? Well, to ensure fun.
Yeah.
We're going to spin a fun little spin wheel where we've got a list of Commander cards that we have yet to speak about. Here's the list we have spoken about.
You gotta stop.
And from this list,
No.
we've taken out of the wheel what's left. It'll pick one. Except last episode where we did two at once because it just happened to work that way.
Just executive decision.
Exactly. We'll talk about the card. We'll tell you what the card is. We'll talk together about why we think the card is banned, and you can let us know in the comments if you agree with us. Do it as a running thing. You can do timestamp comments now. It's really cool.
Oh, yeah.
And then what we'll do is we'll go away, we'll do a bit of research, and then we'll come back, we'll tell you why the card is banned as per the rules committee, and we'll discuss what we found in our research phase. And by the end of it, one of us will be right about the card being unbanned, and the other one will be the most right about it being banned, because he usually is.
I was wondering how you're gonna try and imply that I'm wrong.
Yeah, no, but hear me out, you're generally not, so we're going on the same page here. As always, and I didn't do this at the top last time, X is a compliance show, but the rest, which is Patreon, which is TikTok, which is YouTube at Casual Compliance, and casualcompliance@gmail.com if you want to let us know your thoughts, feelings, opinions, the dreams you're having, and if you have any cool card designs to fix Time Vault.
I just don't think Time Vault's getting fixed.
$1 billion incentive.
I cannot afford that.
No, well, WotC can't either, apparently.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they would fix the Time Vault.
They're choosing not to. Put it that way.
Hello? Oh.
Did your spin wheel die?
Nope, it's back.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to hit record.
Yeah.
We're going to do a cheeky little spin. And let's see.
Gimme something good.
I hope it's something that we can relate to.
Is it?
Interesting. Sundering Titan.
Okay.
I actually don't remember what's because it's one of the two Titans I believe that are on this.
I don't know if I've ever looked at Sundering Titan.
Yep. Well,
I'm about to.
the name of the card gives you an implication.
It's a big one.
It's a big one. It's a Titan. So, Sundering Titan.
It sunders.
It does sunder. Sundering Titan is an 8-cost artifact. 8 generic mana.
Wait, it's not a creature?
Creature artifact. Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry, when I say artifact, I actually mean colorless creature. That is a mistake that I do make sometimes. So Sundering Titan is a colorless creature, costs 8 of any color.
Yeah.
Because actually 8 of generic would imply you have to use colorless.
No, you would say 8 colorless.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. But
anyway.
Yeah. But the way you would cost that is like specifically 8 pips of colorless energy.
Do it. The highest amount of pips at the moment is 6.
Do it, coward.
You coward. Hey, Gavin / Aaron / Mark.
But you would need to make the name of the card so short to fit all of those mana pips.
Or just change the entire format of the card.
Just go Future Sight.
Future Sight. Yeah. Sundering Titan is an 8 generic mana artifact creature, subtype golem. It's a rare.
I really wonder if the sound of this rain and maybe hail is getting picked up on these microphones.
We'll find out together.
Yeah. It's maybe some ambiance for you in the background.
You can sleep to this one.
You can sleep to any of them.
You really can.
Anyway, sorry, Sundering Titan.
When Sundering Titan enters the battlefield or leaves the battlefield, choose a land of each basic land type, then destroy those lands.
Okay, I'm having trouble hearing you.
Okay. Reading the card, attempt to take 2. Marker. Alrighty. Back from that. Thanks, the rain.
Thanks, Melbourne.
I guess.
We're trying to sit in an attic and make a show, and then it's just hail and rain against the roof that we're directly under.
Well, what you could say it was the Sundering Titan. Sundering, it's rain. Anyway, it's a Sundering Titan is an 8 generic mana artifact creature golem printed at Rare. Last printing seems to have been in Double Masters, the original Double Masters.
Okay.
When Sundering Titan enters the battlefield or leaves the battlefield, choose a land of each basic land type, then destroy those lands. So choose a plains,
Yeah.
island, swamp, mountain, and forest in the type.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You could pick up jewel lands.
It's also a 7/10. Cool flavor text. Even if we defeat it, what remains to be saved? Glisser, Sunseeker.
Not wrong, Glisser.
Yeah, well,
Not
Glisser,
wrong.
guess what? First strike, death touch.
Yeah. Great combo.
Yeah. Sponsors of the episode. First strike. Cool.
Wow.
Sundering Titan.
Yeah. Don't knock that over. Sundering Titan, huh? That's awfully destructive.
I have 2 Sundering Titans at home.
Can't play them.
I know. I don't understand why.
You don't?
Armageddon is legal.
Yeah, but it's a Armageddon, unless you're doing like some really heinous shit, is a one-off effect.
We just played a full game of Dan.
Yeah.
Put it in a Jeskai like Mystic Retrieval deck, and you're just playing that shit non-stop.
Like, I guess, but you would run out of lands.
Nah.
It's destroy all lands.
Not if my lands have indestructible,
Yeah,
because I'm
okay.
playing Mist Vault Bridge and playing bridge lands.
Artifact lands.
Anyway,
Sundering Titan.
Sundering Titan is only basic land types.
Yes.
Not a lot of, as someone who's just sorted his lands in the cataloguing, go to Patreon if it exists, because there's blogs about that. There's not a lot of dual lands that have basic land types. And unless you're playing this against a mono-coloured commander, Titania,
Yeah.
it's limited. Its function is limited.
I mean, in Commander, though, you've got more potential hits because you've got more players.
Yes.
And generally, people are playing at least 2 colour decks.
Yes. And if you're playing this card, you're probably playing it in Golgari with Yavimeyas and
Maybe you're
Urborg.
doing that.
Blood Moon, played in Jund. Oh my god, Jund Sundering Titan.
No, Sundering Titan. What I think you actually want to do is run it with, was it Omo, Queen of Azuba?
Yeah.
That makes lands every
everything.
land type. And then you're just like, cool, I put a counter there, and now Sundering Titan blows
Leyline
up.
of the Guild Pact.
Yeah,
I
sure.
think that does make it every land type as well, or it taps for every colour.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I think the way that this, like the initial thought I had was repeatable blink.
Yes, that's the same thought I had.
Yeah. If you have it repeatedly enter and leave the battlefield, you could just wipe the
And it
board.
doubles up, because when it leaves, it does it. And
when
then
it
when it
enters.
enters again, it does it.
Yeah.
So put it in the Aminatu deck that I'm building.
Yeah, you get like a Conjurer's
Blink it.
Closet, or like even just little instants that do blink effects, momentary blink.
Faladar Sovereign.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, this one, if like I don't usually try to predict the exact ban reason, but I think it's got to be something about like just removing people's ability to play Magic by destroying lands in a way that is pretty reliable.
If land destruction is that problematic, ban the mechanic entirely. They've doubled down on it recently, where
little
there's
bit,
a
yeah.
lot more land destruction being in play.
Yeah.
Land destruction is just a play of Magic. Play more removal. I know removing this gets rid of one of your lands.
By the time it's entered, you've lost a land.
And then you remove it, there's another one.
Well, hang on.
Make it phase out.
Remind me that the text is pick a land of each type.
Yeah.
It doesn't say for each player.
So
if somebody, say for example, is running a Wooburg deck,
yeah, you pick
you
one of
could
each of their
blow
lands.
5 of their lands up.
Yeah. As the Wooburg player that is resident in this pod,
Hey, I also...
I get it.
I have a couple of Wooburg decks.
Yeah, I get it.
Don't hold me back.
All my Wooburg decks have bridges in them for a reason.
Yeah, Wooburg fucking mana bases are the hardest thing to get right.
Exactly.
Don't make it harder.
Because I don't have infinite money.
No, neither.
This show isn't paying us infinite money yet.
Just get a Chromatic Lantern and don't worry about it.
Go to our Patreon where you can give us money to pay for our mana bases. Eventually.
Maybe.
There are plans.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Hopefully by the time this comes out.
Who knows?
I don't know.
We've got stuff to do.
Yeah, we do. We gotta move house.
We're moving.
Well, you've moved.
They don't know that.
They do now. They don't know
They
where...
think we live together.
Oh. You moved out. You just create a completely alternate universe.
the casual compliance averse. Anyway, do you want to do some research?
Yeah,
I don't think
so.
this card should be banned. I think there's a lot of land destruction going on.
Yeah.
There's ways to counter spells for days. There's so many ways to counter ability as well, especially in artifacts. Resculpt, Strix's Serenade.
Triggered abilities, and that gets a little bit more restrictive.
Still, I just think it can be unbanned.
I know you do.
This one I'm solid line. I'm not even the meme. I just think it can.
Well,
Research.
let's find out.
It's kind of like an iconic thing of me putting the laptop away once I've read why and then
having to get it back.
Piece.
Yeah.
Well, even like reading this and then putting it back.
Yeah.
Because usually I think you cut back to like while I have it on my lap.
Well, yeah, because you read the shit out.
Yeah.
And then usually just put it down because you don't usually have anything to back yourself up.
Correct. Okay, let's do a recap on that savage burn where I've just been sundered by a Titan. Sundering Titan is an 8 generic mana artifact creature / golem.
Was that a Destiny reference? I am a Titan main.
It's a rare from Double Masters. When Sundering Titan enters the battlefield or leaves the battlefield, choose a land of each basic land type, then destroy those lands. I also realize it's not a legendary either.
Nope.
So, printed in 2004 in February, banned in 2012. So it had about 8 years in Commander. Running rampant.
Can I just, before you get to the ban reason, remember Tinker?
Yep.
Tinker would find this.
Tinker would find this.
And it just immediately enters.
But in Hear Me Out, Tinker was banned well before this.
No, I know, but imagine a world where you get your wish and everything is unbanned.
Yeah, Tinker.
Tinker and the Sundering Titan.
Absolutely. Why do you think I want Tinker unbanned? There are many lands that players would love to see leaving the battlefield, but Sundering Titan doesn't target those. Yep. Decks that blink or bounce Sundering Titan can utilize its effect repeatedly, leading to an environment where it's nearly impossible for opponents to keep basic lands in play. Basic land destruction is a predictably unpopular mechanic, especially in an environment where you don't know the people you're playing against. Well, Commander's not specifically that, because generally you do know most of the people in your pods.
In LGS environments, it's a bit more towards
Very
that,
much
though.
so.
Yeah.
And I guess, with the whole point of Rule Zero is that, the ban list is flexible at times.
Yeah. But also Rule Zero is there for you to, normalize your expectations within the group.
100%. Anyway, this remains banned.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. It's basically, it only targets basic lands, which...
No, it doesn't. So one of the rulings on here, and it's interesting, it's in the ban reason, Sundering Titan's ability isn't targeted. When it resolves, Sundering Titan's controller must choose one land for each basic land type, and then they are destroyed simultaneously. There is no point at which you can interact with this ability.
Yes, so I can be...
But you're not targeting, you are choosing. It's not targeting,
yes, but it's only picking basic lands.
Yeah, but
or basic land types.
The spell resolving is both choosing lands and destroying them.
Yep, there's no target and response.
Yeah. Because the other bit here is players can't take actions in between the time you choose the lands and the time you destroy them. Notably, they can't activate mana abilities of those lands. So you couldn't, get the mana before it
Attack
goes.
And response. Yeah, it enters the battlefield, they're just gone.
Yeah.
So, I guess one of the things with that is... when it leaves the battlefield is the big one. If it would just enter the battlefield with it, the lands get destroyed. Yes, it's a lot of lands that get destroyed, but lands get destroyed. But when it leaves the battlefield, doing it again means that removing it is as big of an issue, and it's a 7/10.
Yeah.
It's massive.
Yeah.
So it's a game winner, and you can Helm of the Host it and all the rest. So
even without Helm of the Host, it's not a legendary artifact creature, so you could just copy it anyway.
Exactly. Any way you can. There's a million ways to copy target artifact.
Could you imagine this with Myriad?
Could you imagine this with Bargain?
Yeah.
So
Offspring.
Look.
Get a 1/1 copy of this thing.
Thing is, if we're talking about unfun and restricting people from playing, the one I'm going to again pin myself on, land destruction is quite normal.
Yes.
People don't like it. I understand that, and it would be a discussion. Hey, I'm playing land destruction. Armageddon exists. I can play Mer Land Shaper and Splinter still. Which is arguably worse.
Yeah.
Is more mana efficient.
2 cards that you have to get.
Is more mana efficient.
More pieces.
Yeah, that's 1 in 99.
Yeah.
2 in 99 is easier.
Yeah.
Statistically.
Yeah.
That's not how that works.
But I think there's a big difference between, like, you have a very small amount of land destruction because, like, you've got, lands that do destruction, or you've got, like, 1 or 2 things here or there, versus playing things like Armageddon, which is not banned, but would still be a conversation I'd like to have.
Yeah.
Playing something like Sundering Titan, where it feels like if the theme of your deck is land destruction, that's not a great time.
Well, I mean, because like if my deck is built around getting a Mer Land Shaper on the battlefield and then targeting your swamp, tapping the Mer Land Shaper to make your swamp an artifact, then splintering it to remove every single swamp from your library from the game, that's a fun deck theme, and you should build those and play them in modern tournaments.
I mean, like, that is a win con, right? Like, in a sense, you would make people concede that way.
Yep. Have and will continue to.
Yeah.
Take that, modern.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, in terms of levels of unfun and preventing people from playing, I want to look at the Void Winnower. 9 cost Eldrazi spell, 9 generic colors. Players can't cast spells that are even in mana value.
Yep.
And you can't block it, and players can't block with creatures of even mana value.
Right.
Like, you basically removing probably half or more.
Statistical average, yeah.
Half.
Yeah.
Of creatures.
Yeah. But not completely locking people out of doing stuff.
You mean you can't play counter spells anymore? Well, like
Not specifically counterspell. Yeah.
Can still play Soul Ring.
Yeah.
But it's
by the time you're playing a 9 cost.
Yep. But it's still just it's as, I think that's as unfun as a Sundering Titan.
We can talk about potential fixes for this later, but I think it is one of those more oppressive types of mass destructive effects.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it falls short, is having land destruction is not objectively a bad thing.
Yeah.
There are plenty of things that do that, and the payoff makes it an easier pill to swallow. Or like the trade-off that you, as the recipient of that effect, it's not too bad. But this is just like, you can't even tap these lands to get the mana out of them before they go.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty, like, that type of interaction doesn't happen often. Usually when things are targeted for removal or destruction, you've got an opportunity to do something with it, whether that's counter the spell, give it indestructible, tap it for mana, whatever you want. This is missing that in a big way.
Yeah, and you guess, hits the battlefield. It does it.
It just does it.
And then it leaves battlefield.
Yeah.
It just does it.
Yeah. Unless you've got a way to target specifically a triggered ability, which is a pretty niche strategy.
Quite a niche. It's a cheap blue strategy, but it's a niche blue strategy.
I think maybe once or twice I've seen someone play a card or activate an ability that counters specifically a triggered ability.
It is being reprinted more though, because I think it was in OTJ recently.
Because they had like Obika and like doing weird stuff with game steps,
so
and
they had
Riku of Mini
abilities.
Paths with the modal shit.
So they had counter triggered ability a lot more there.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, OTJ was keyword soup, so I'm not surprised there was some shit in
What
there.
a fun set.
I think thematically it was fun. They just tried to shoehorn too many things in.
Everything
Anyway,
at once.
that's different.
Okay, before we talk about the culture of the game, I guess, let's talk about how this guy ruins the culture of the game.
How it could, if it were made
how
illegal.
it could, and why we're protecting the game by having it remain banned.
Yeah. So there's obvious things like Roaming Throne and Panharmonicon type effects where it enters and the effect happens twice. Roaming
Sundering Titan. It happens.
Yeah, so Roaming Throne, 4-cost artifact creature golem with ward 2.
Yep.
So harder to get rid of this as well. As it enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. I guess you would name golem in this case. Roaming Throne is the chosen type.
Golem.
It's already a golem, so it becomes a golem in addition to being a golem. If a triggered ability of another creature you control of the chosen type triggers, it triggers an additional time.
Oh, that doubles the leave. Because Panharmonicon is only ETB.
Yes, correct.
Oh,
Yeah, so roaming throne's great.
And I guess in response to that as well, I'm tapping blue mana and saying it's got Ward 2, so ban it, because Ward is bad. Looking at you, Voja.
Ward 2's easy to stomach. That's fallen down?
Calm down. It thought seized itself.
And then, like I said, Panharmonicon, it's 4 cost artifact, 4 generic.
W.
If an artifact or creature entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, it triggers an additional time.
Trigger.
So you double the ETB, not the LTB. So those feel pretty obvious. Then there's, of course, Echoes of Eternity. 3 generic, and then 3 colorless for a Kindred Enchantment Eldrazi. If a triggered ability of a colorless spell you control, it's not a spell, is it? Or another colorless permanent you control triggers, so it would. That triggers an additional time. So that is doubling both as well, because it's an ability being triggered.
Both ends.
Whenever you cast a colorless spell, copy it. So you can immediately have 2 of them. Shit. That would suck.
Hey, Sundering Titan, Journeys, pop, triggers, Sundering Titan.
Yeah. It's just 2 of them on the stack and they both enter.
Those 5.
Now imagine you had all of those in play.
Yep.
I can't do the math in my head fast enough. It's probably 32
Fully
triggers.
enter, you double, and then you do that again.
You're doubling the ability of the... Anyway, it's like 1632 triggers, something like that.
Put it on the screen.
Definitely nobody's got lands left after that. Because if...
Including yourself,
yeah,
because it doesn't protect you.
If you're the only person with lands, you have to pick your
But if you also have 2 Sundering Titans down and nobody has lands, guess what? You've won the fucking game.
Yeah.
7-10.
Those are maybe the obvious ones.
Yep.
The other one that is like, I guess, level 2 in terms of being obvious, or second place is more what I mean, is blink type effects. I think I mentioned it earlier.
Pop it up. With all those enchantments down as well.
So I did a little search.
He doesn't have a single Skyfall page up.
Oh, not yet.
He has every fucking card. Shit.
So I did a search for Commander legal cards that are permanents that are tagged with the function tag blink.
Soul Herder.
So essentially things that stay in the battlefield that give you access to a blink effect. So yeah, Amanatu the Fate Shifter is in there. Things like Abuelo, Ancestral Echo.
Abuelo.
Some of these I mentioned before, but I'll go into some specific ones. So Gandalf the White is a 3 generic white legendary creature avatar wizard with flash. You may cast legendary spells and artifact spells as though they had flash. And if a legendary permanent or an artifact entering or leaving the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, it triggers an additional time.
Oh, it's roaming through.
Yeah,
it's strictly better roaming through because it doesn't have Ward 2.
It has flash. So you can flash this in, then flash in Sundering Titan, and then have it do it twice.
Person who counts how much mana our shitty combos does in the comments. How much mana is that shitty combo?
13.
Probably.
Yeah, 5 for Gandalf.
It's 27 mana, man.
Conjurer's Closet, I mentioned before, 5 cost generic artifact. At the beginning of your end step, you may exile target creature you control, then return it to the battlefield under your control. So just two triggers right there, just by itself. There's Teleportation Circle, 3 generic, 1 white for an enchantment.
Mirror of Life Trap.
It's the same thing. At the beginning of your end step, exile up to 1 target artifact or creature, then return it to the battlefield. Then we've got Displacer Kitten.
Yep.
It's a 3 generic, 1 blue cat beast with keyword avoidance. Whenever it's a named ability, you know these things. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, exile up to 1 target non-land permanent you control, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. So all you have to do is cast non-creature spells. What if you have Storm?
In a spell slinger. Far out.
Just blinking that thing in and out.
Can you bring up 2 cards for me?
What's that?
Mirror of Life Trapping.
Uh-huh.
And Hypergenesis.
I'll get to that. I've got 2 more.
Go, hit me.
And then we can bring those up. Eldrazi Displacer.
Oh, yep.
Which is 2 generic and 1 white for an Eldrazi Devoid. You can pay 2 generic and then 1 colorless to blink a creature, but it comes back in tapped.
And that's good.
But that's instant speed.
That's good. It comes in tapped.
It's also
fixed.
Doesn't require you to tap the Eldrazi Displacer, so you can do it multiple times. It's great. And then there's Deadeye Navigator.
What?
Do you remember Deadeye Navigator?
Yeah.
4 generic, 2 blue for a spirit. I was going to say speecher.
For a speecher.
And it has soul bond, which means you may pair this creature with another unpaired creature when either enters. They remain paired for as long as you control both of them. So what you do with soul bond is you have one enter, and you can basically just do that.
Yep.
Because the ability is, as long as Deadeye Navigator is paired with another creature, each of those creatures has the ability, 1 generic and a blue, exile this creature, then return it to the battlefield under your control.
Far out.
So if you have Sundering Titan, Deadeye Navigator comes in, they become bonded, both of them then gain that ability. If something entering the battlefield is giving you 1 and a blue, you can infinitely just bounce them both back and forth.
Oh my god.
So yeah, pretty easy to make this a disgusting place to be.
Mirror of Life Trapping, I'm pretty sure it's an artifact.
Yeah.
That is when a creature enters the battlefield. So the ETB happens, then it moves under Mirror of Life Trapping until someone else plays a creature. Then that creature re-enters the battlefield, and the new creature that's ETB'd goes back under. So it enters and it leaves to go under the Mirror of Life Trapping, and then it goes back into the battlefield.
Yeah, whenever a creature enters, if it was cast, exile it, then return all other permanent cards exiled with Mirror of Life Trapping to the battlefield under their owner's
Which means it
control.
still enters.
Yes.
So it enters first.
Yeah, it goes
and then
in and out of exile.
It's like you're sitting on a fucking time bomb with that. And then Hypergenesis, which is when it's a suspend card.
Oh yeah.
It's suspend 3?
Suspend 3 for 1 green.
1 green. Which is...
Do you want me to just read it?
In order.
I've got it.
I'm going from the top of my head because this is the part where I try to remember cards. It's got really cool art with like blue and orange on the thing.
Yeah.
Each player in order puts a creature, enchantment, artifact... I think that's it. A land onto the battlefield. All land onto the battlefield.
Yep. Starting with you, each player may put an artifact, creature, enchantment, or land card from their hand onto the battlefield. Repeat this process until no one puts a card onto the battlefield.
So if I put Sundering Titan down
as
my first one, because I'm the one that played the Hypergenesis in this Sundering Titan deck, GG's.
Well, no, because they've still got stuff in their hand.
On turn 3.
Oh, yeah.
On turn 3.
Yeah, it's probably over pretty quick. Yep. And that is... Oh, look, there's probably more ways you could abuse this.
Fucking absolutely.
Let's be honest.
It would be... I saw a really good thing on the Reddit and probably you wind back into the research zone where it was like, would... what was it? Would unbanning Sundering Titan increase the amount of fun in Commander? No. Like, it wouldn't.
No. Is it gonna break the format? No.
No, it's not gonna break the
But
format.
anywhere it shows up, it's ruining a game.
Exactly. And you are likely to make yourself... You're likely to have this kind of phenomena where you become the threat assessment for future games where people ignore the board state and look at you, the player.
Yeah.
Because, that's the person that plays Sundering Titan. So
Well, it's not that they're the person that plays Sundering Titan. It's they're the type of person that plays Sundering Titan and thinks that's fun.
Whoops. Says the person who plays Golos in Brawl as a commander.
That's Brawl. It's legal there.
Yeah, thank God.
But that's also bad.
I get it. Yeah, it's just Sundering Titan is brutal. It destroys land destruction. Yes, I do say that it's legal, so it should be playable, but it is very indicative of an important conversation that needs to be had, which is like, hey, my deck is doing land destruction as a mechanic, or my deck does a bit of land destruction. I play full stacks. This game will go long because my deck just stalls until it wins.
Yeah.
It's lantern control kind of
right.
basis. So you need to have your conversations, but Sundering Titan goes past that because I feel like the conversation would be, hey, I play a bit of land destruction. There's a Sundering Titan in there, and the other person's like,
I don't even want to begin this game.
I don't play that deck.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's 1 in whatever, but the amount of times you can tutor for an artifact in any color, and it can go in any color of deck.
It can go... That I think is part of the problem too. Is like, it is just a colorless artifact, so it can go anywhere.
Chuck it in a Teamer, one with Worldfire.
Fucking any deck, you could make this a problem,
Yeah.
right? Like, I read out there was white stuff. Most of what I read out was colorless effects.
Yeah, and goes in
There was
everything.
some green, there was some blue, every color can make this a problem.
How do we fix it?
I think So step one is you make that ability a targeted ability in a way that you can still tap the lands for mana, have it be either enter or leave, and then
have it enter the battlefield with a finality counter on it.
Yeah,
Or have it,
well, no, because counters can just be removed. I think the card itself,
when it leaves
the
the
card
battlefield, removed
itself,
from the game.
if it would be put into a graveyard from anywhere it exiles.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, because that means if you exile it yourself, it's blinking is exiling.
yeah.
So it's when this card leaves the battlefield, it leaves the battlefield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something that makes it never come back.
Yeah.
Like this has to be an effect that you get once.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it's just disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. If you want more disgusting content like this, and you feel like playing unbanned Sundering Titan,
I don't want to do it.
email me at casualcompliance@gmail.com and let me know where your pods are, because I'm assuming you're also playing Anti, and I want to get your Black Lotuses from.
Yes.
So email us at casualcompliance@gmail.com. You can find us on X at Compliance Show, or where we actually are, which is YouTube. We're in the comments, like we respond, we see them. At Casual Compliance, and Patreon as well. We do see it. There's not a lot on there at the moment. We'll get there. We're getting there. Talk to us there. Well, we'd love to talk. And if you see us around, please say hi.
Bye-bye now.
Brutal. Sundering Titan's so shit.